और बेसिकली क्या क्या उपलब्धियां आज तक उन्होंने हासिल की है, क्या क्या अचीवमेंट्स की है, और जो आईपीओ ला रहे हैं उसका पर्पस कैसा है, क्या है, ये सब हम आज जान लेंगे, ताकि हमारे मन में जो भी कुछ कंपनी के प्रति जो कुछ भी जानकारी है वो बढ़े। वैसे तो हम सब लोग बहुत करीब से देख रहे हैं पीयूष जी का जो ग्रोथ है, वो मैंने तो बहुत नजदीक से देखा है। बिल्कुल जब वो एक कंप्यूटर पे काम कर रहे थे डिसूजा कॉलोनी में, तब मैं उनको मिला था। तब से लेके आज तक जो सफर है उनका बहुत ही ऐसा प्रेरणादायी सफर है। हम सबको बहुत प्रेरणा मिले एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर। मैं उनको हमेशा एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर जब उनको देखता हूँ तो रियली इज जिसको कहते हैं कि सब जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है एंटरप्रेन्योर्स की वो उनमें भरी हुई है। बहुत सारी, मैं तो जिनको पीयूष जी के बारे में और कुछ जानना चाहते हैं ज्यादा, तो वो हमारा वीडियो जो है यूट्यूब चैनल उद्योग वर्धिनी का, उसमें देखिए 2 वीडियो उनके दिए हैं। 2 बार वो आए थे और लोगों को काफी जानकारी और बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन के साथ साथ इंस्पिरेशन लोगों को मिला था उनके जो बातचीत हमने की थी। आईटी फील्ड में बहुत अच्छे आज वो नासिक के नहीं बोलते, बिल्कुल महाराष्ट्र के एक लीडर जाने जाते हैं। क्लाउड होस्टिंग का काम वो काफी सालों से कर रहे हैं, और मैंने उनके सब दौर देखे हैं। बिल्कुल जब उनको सब उनके जो साथ में जो थे वो सब छोड़ के चले गए और अकेले पीयूष जी रह गए। और आज जो उनका एक पूरा वट वृक्ष जिसको कह सकते हैं वो बहुत बड़ा बन गया है। और आज ऐसी एक नासिक को प्राउड फीलिंग हो गई है कि नासिक एक कंपनी है। वैसे नासिक की कुछ कंपनी ऑलरेडी पब्लिक लिमिटेड हो चुकी है, लेकिन एक प्राउड फील एक टेक्नोलॉजी की कंपनी हमारी अशोका बिल्डकॉन है या फिर वो काफी और कंपनीज है, लेकिन एक ये ऐसी कंपनी है जो टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनी है और जिसकी आज जरूरत है हमारे पूरे इंडिया में, क्लाउड होस्टिंग। तो वो काम पीयूष जी कर रहे हैं, तो वो उसको तो बहुत अच्छा फ्यूचर है ये हम सब लोग जानते हैं। लेकिन फिर भी फ्रॉम द हॉर्सेस माउथ हम जानना चाहेंगे कि ये सब आप जो काम कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में, और वो सब छोटा सा सफर, आपके अचीवमेंट्स क्या क्या है, और ये आईपीओ आप क्यों ला रहे हो, क्या क्या आपके प्लान्स है, फ्यूचर प्लान्स क्या है, ये हम जानना चाहेंगे। सो पीयूष जी, आपका फिर एक बार तीसरी बार रादर मैं इस मंच पे स्वागत करता हूँ। सभी जो इन्वेस्टर्स है आज इकट्ठा हुए हैं जो अपनी कंपनी के शेयर होल्डर होना चाहते हैं, ऐसे ही सब लोगों को हमने आमंत्रित किया है। वो सब लोग आए हैं, अलग अलग जगह से लोग आए हैं। तो सबका भी मैं स्वागत करता हूँ। उसके साथ साथ पीयूष जी आपका भी फिर एक बार स्वागत करता हूँ, और आपको रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि आप अपना शुरू करें, फिर हम बातचीत में और आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे। यस पीयूष जी।
थैंक यू सुनील जी। आज जितने भी सभी लोग यहाँ पर उपस्थित है, तो आपको मैं एक थोड़ा कॉर्पोरेट प्रेजेंटेशन जो है, एक हमारा 10 मिनट का एक कॉर्पोरेट प्रेजेंटेशन के थ्रू वॉक थ्रू दे देता हूँ, ताकि एक आइडिया आ जाए कि कंपनी क्या करती है। और फिर उसके बाद में जो भी आपके क्वेश्चंस होंगे वगैरह आप पूछ सकते हो। मैं प्रेजेंट करता हूँ मेरी स्क्रीन। तो ये अपने कंपनी का कॉर्पोरेट प्रेजेंटेशन है, इसका ये डिस्क्लेमर है। आज अभी फिलहाल सिर्फ मैं ही हूँ जो प्रेजेंट कर रहा है। टिपिकली हम जब बाकी बाहर के सभी इन्वेस्टर्स को प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं तो हम 4 लोग में से 3 कोई ना कोई होते हैं। So ESDS is a leading managed cloud service provider in India, offering multi-cloud solutions to customers in India. We offer cloud infrastructure as a service, cloud software as a service, and managed services. ESDS is a one-stop shop for customers' cloud adoption in India. This is the vision and mission statement of the company to co-create a technology advanced greener planet, and to achieve this 4B mission in next 4 years, 5 years time, to connect more than 1 billion people of India. So today we have 50% population of India that is connected to all the portals, technologies that are hosted with us. World's largest IoT project and India's largest smart metering project going live from our cloud platform, to plant 1 billion trees and to become $1 billion enterprise. We have more than 1,500 customers now. Last year, we added more than 400 customers, more than 1,000 employees. R&D team is a very, very strong team, more than 175 people in the R&D team now. Last year, we did a turnover of 172 crores with an EBITDA margin of 36.65%. In 2011, ESDS became the first company in the world to bring vertical auto scaling technology. And that is the reason we named that technology as Enlight Cloud. Enlight Cloud means self-enlightened cloud platform. So we brought artificial intelligence and machine learning in cloud in the year 2011. And that is how our cloud platform got the name of Enlight Cloud. We launched our first data center in that period in Maharashtra, in Nasik. In 2015 and 17, we got our US patent and UK patent subsequently. We launched our Mumbai data center also in the year 2016 and also entered into a rate contract with government of Maharashtra during the same period. 2018 and 19, GF Capital Partners became an investor in the company. We incorporated 2 companies outside India, one in Dubai, one in the US. Got appraised at CMMI level 3 company and also got empaneled with Government of India as a cloud service provider. Last year, we launched our Bangalore data center. We incorporated Spock Hub. IT consultancy services were also started. And we got 3 very, very important certificates from SAP. We became SAP certified, HANA service provider, SAP certified data center service provider, SAP certified cloud service provider. And 2 years back, we ranked 2nd in India amongst the great place to work. Last year, we ranked 28th in India in the enterprise category. So 2 years back, we were in the SME, MSME category because we had less than 500 people. Now that we have more than 500 people and more than 1,000 people now. So we are there in the list of the top enterprises in India. We provide infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and managed services. We were the first in India to bring the concept of community cloud in infrastructure as a service. Today, we offer government community cloud to more than 250 government organizations, BFSI community cloud to more than 400 banking organizations, and SAP HANA community cloud to more than 200 BSE NSE listed companies. We have a very diversified SaaS offering. And we've been the best in India when it comes to the managed services. This is how the cloud market is growing. Next year onwards, cloud infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, all are anticipated to grow at more than 40% CAGR. And because of support of the central government and then policies coming from the state governments, and because of the data explosion in the country, so the cloud growth is getting fueled. India has world's largest number of SMEs and MSMEs. What gives an advantage to ESDS compared with anyone else? So the customization, the managed services plus customization that we give to our customers gives us an advantage. Local knowledge of India gives us an advantage. The relationships that we have in India, that gives us an advantage. And the biggest advantage is that customers or organizations which are digitally immature to go on public cloud have only option of ESDS. They cannot go on public cloud because their applications or database is not as mature as it is required, or they have their cloud maturity is poor. But in our case, because we are so strong in managed services, we onboard a customer on our cloud and take care of everything for the customer end to end. Key strengths of the company. We are a comprehensive and integrated range of offerings that provide a one-stop shop for managed cloud solutions to a diversified and marquee clientele. Robust and scalable business model with multiple layers of growth. innovative billing solutions that derive value to customers. Leadership position in the industry with a proven track record. We've been the leader in the market in India, and we've been very, very consistent. Please remember that India rewards you for your consistency. India doesn't reward you for innovation. Very rarely you will see that something very innovative, disruptive has come in the market and gone viral. Mostly the business in India happens on relationship basis. Strength and experience of our senior management team. Our senior management team brings diversified experience into their respective domains. We brought multiple billing models in the market. No one else in the offer offers paper consumption billing, paper branch billing, paper transaction billing. It is only ESDS which offers this kind of billing models to help our customers have a check on their resource usage. Typically, when people go on AWS, after a year or two, the costs inflate so much that they keep on asking for discount, and they eventually don't give the discount, so they eventually end up killing their own customers itself. But with our paper consumption, paper branch billing model, paper transaction billing model, we help our customers to pay for cloud only from the earnings that they do into their business. We have more than 400 banking customers on the banking community cloud, more than 200 customers on the SAP HANA community cloud. And we are the first company in India to introduce cloud computing 12 years back. Yeah. Our customers, Tech Mahindra, L&T, EDF, SL Propack, Entity Data, Vadilal, Symphony, Stock Holding Corporation of India, SIDBI, Tata Capital, Tata Metallics, Union Bank of India, Bob Financials, Bob Cards, STPI, MIDC, Indian Ports Association, NHAI, or Finance Corporation. Our 3 data centers in India: Nasik, Bangalore, Mumbai. Management team of ESDS, highly experienced management team members. The board of ESDS, most of them are a combination of finance and IT. Chartered accountant plus IT. Why Enlight vertical auto scaling technology, the patented technology of ESDS, is a unique value proposition, a unique selling point for ESDS, is because when people go on any other cloud platform, they are not able to get the scalability that they want. The way they want the scalability, they don't get it. In case of ESDS, our vertical auto scaling takes care of automatic scaling. You don't have to manually change anything. Capital intensive, when people go on other cloud platforms, the cost of the cloud becomes unbearable after a certain point of time. In our case, that's not the case because we have transparent billing models. Customer is able to continuously track what they are consuming and then what they are paying for whatever they are consuming. Companies that go on public cloud are always under pressure to cut down their costs. But because of our paper consumption and paper branch model, customer has to pay only for what they consume or what number of transactions they are doing or the branches which are connected to cloud. Managed services, as I mentioned earlier, we are very, very strong when it comes to managed services in India. A very, very strong R&D team has created multiple products which are doing wonder in the market. SpockHub, so all our SaaS, PaaS and software products are put in SpockHub. Some of our SaaS products are doing exceptionally well in the market. growth strategy of the company, because the market is poised to grow at more than 44% growth rate next year. So it is extremely important for ESDS to scale up its operations and also make sure that the existing customers, their contracts also scale up with us. And then we also need to scale up our marketing efforts so that more and more number of customers can be onboarded at ESDS with ESDS. So financial metrics: consistent growth in top line, consistent growth in EBITDA, revenue concentration we have managed to reduce. Earlier in FY19, the revenue coming from top 20 customers was 60%. Now in FY20, we have managed to bring it down to 51%. So that's it from my side.
Yes. Thank you, Piyush ji. I think it was a very good presentation, and it covers all the legal and technical aspects and financial aspects basically. I think those who have questions, they can raise their hands, unmute themselves, and open their videos and ask the questions. Before that, if somebody has, Ram, you have some questions already gathered?
Yes, one question is revenue growth, ESDS compared to other providers like Azure, AWS, GCP, NetMagic.
Similar. Our revenue growth over last 2 years, 3 years has been similar. Industry, it is synonym to the industry growth.
Okay. Next is who are the data and cloud guzzlers of AWS versus ESDS by industry? Who uses these most and how are they growing?
In case of their customers, it is AWS is mainly used by startups and multinational companies. Our cloud is mainly preferred by Indian enterprises, Indian banks, and Indian government organizations.
Okay. Next is software companies and developers by default go to AWS and Azure. So how do you capture those ESD by how do you plan to capture those audience? Software companies.
Yeah. So software companies typically the developer community prefers AWS cloud. They like to go there, log in, create their machines, and then destroy their machines. They prefer that. But when it is about project deployment, especially from these 3 verticals I mentioned, Indian enterprise, Indian banks, Indian government organization, they prefer to put the production environment on our cloud platform. And a lot of people also migrate out of AWS cloud after 1 or 2 years because the cost goes out of control. The customer themselves decide to shift to our cloud platform once they have, once the billing goes, once the billing gets multiplied or quadrupled from AWS to them.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Now we have question from our Surajji Loya, who is largest Motilal Oswal franchisee, recipient of several awards every year. So Surajji, I welcome you and I request you to please unmute yourself and open your video and ask the question to Piyush.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, which are the peer companies in the same field already acting and already listed, and details about the IPO? What you are going to do with these 1,300 crores? Which type of expansion? Where you are going to invest?
See, in India, there is no other cloud company which is listed. So we will be the first one to get listed. So in India, we do not have a comparison. Outside India, then we can compare with companies like Rackspace. But in India, there is no comparison. And from the use of proceeds, 322 crore is the primary capital which the company is going to raise. 50% of that will go into capital expenditure, and remaining 50% the company will use as a working capital. Now, out of the total 1300 crore issue, 900 plus is 900 crore, 900 plus some amount will go to Global Environment Fund as a secondary exit for them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Any more questions?
And any details about the IPO, about the what is the size of the, what's the premium or like that?
So we are, the total size of the IPO is 1300 crores. 322 is primary and 900 crore, somewhere approximately 900, 950 crore is secondary from GF. And we are expecting the listing price somewhere around 400 crore approximately. Do not quote me anywhere, but approximately 400 would be the listing price. So we will have to see that.
Sir, all the best.
Sorry, Suresh, your voice is not audible.
Sahil has another question. Sahil has some question.
Yeah, please turn on your videos, those who have question. Next is price point comparison, ESDS with other competitors like AWS Azure.
We are cheaper than the competitors in the market. Many customers who have migrated to us have migrated because they found our price to be much cheaper than the competitors.
Okay. Next is
Sahil Shetty.
sorry.
Sahil Shetty has some question. You have some question, you can ask.
Yes. And next is any additional investors taken other than founding group, when and how much and at what rate?
GF had invested in the company 3 years back. So besides that, we have not finalized anyone else recently. Right now, 60% of the shareholding is with me, 40% is with GF. Post IPO, GF's shareholding will reduce in the company.
Okay. What voting rights will be of the shareholders participating in the pre-IPO?
That you have to read on the SEBI website.
Okay. Right. Just one second. I'm reading the question. Yes, Sahil, if you have question, please. So those who have questions, please turn on your videos and then I'll send you the unmute request. Yes, Sahil.
Yeah, sir. This is Sachin Shetty, Sahil Shetty here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. So I can see your revenue 2019. Profit is after the tax. The profit was something 19 crore. Now this year profit after tax is only 5 crore, but revenue is 171 crore. So I just would like to know. So you are telling that your EBITDA margin is around 36%, right? No. So why the profit after tax is very less in this year?
We have an asset intensive business. So we have to buy a lot of servers, storages. So because of that, the depreciation is very high.
So how many employee addition you are done for the future expansion post? Already your addition of employee already you are done. Yeah, you have.
Yes, we already have additional employees still added. Yeah.
So okay. The IPO size is 300 crore or 1,300 crore right now.
Fresh infusion in the company is 322 crore. Balance will go as secondary to GF.
So tell me one thing. Your revenue is 170 crore and EBITDA 36. So I can say roughly around 30 crore is the profit. So how much is the total equity?
Total equity into the company is around 250 crores. So that is there in the DRHP document. You can read the entire DRHP document. And approximately it is around 250 crore. Exact number you can read in the DRHP document.
Yeah, I have read this one, but just one doubt. So after IPO, how much is the dilutions? 50%? Yeah, how much the promoter holding will be there?
Promoter holding will be more than 51%. And the other shareholder, GF shareholding will be around approximately 17%. 17.
So total shares offloading will be something around 3 crore.
Correct. Yeah.
3 crore. So
Approximately. Yeah.
Thank you, Sahil. We'll take next question. Thank you. Yes, Chandak sir, you have question.
Some people are asking about what is the minimum amount for the preferential shares and how much is the lock-in period?
There is no such limit that we have kept. From Nasik, we will try and cover everyone who's investing from Nasik. And outside of Nasik, then there would be whoever is able to get in. Because for retail, the bankers have allocated only 20% shares. 80% is going to the institutional investors, where majority of the institutional investors have been finalized. And next week, the balance will get finalized.
Okay, thank you. Anyone has a question?
Yes. So will there be any lock-in period for pre-IPO allotment?
Pre-IPO, whoever makes an investment as per the SEBI guidelines, there is a 6 months lock-in.
Right. Okay. Any guidelines on any idea on price band and what might be the expected listing price? Any guidelines on that?
Listing price approximately somewhere around 400 is what we are expecting. I cannot give any exact number as of yet because that is yet to get finalized.
Okay. Yes, Keswan
has some question.
Yeah. Hi Piyush, this is Keshavan from Bangalore. I'm running a startup, AI startup of my own. I have two questions. One is more personal to my own startup, and the second one is around the competition. On the competition question, you talked about Government of India being one of your target markets, correct? And why would Government of India choose ESDS over Azure or AWS, considering that Azure and AWS almost work with all the governments across the globe, many governments. So what is a competitive advantage? Is it access or technology or scale? I would love to know that. The second question is, I do spend a lot of money on cloud already on AWS, and being an AI startup, it's easy. Is there anything in your roadmap for specifically AI and ML companies? The reason is they are the data guzzlers for whether it is for training or deployment. They are the biggest data guzzlers on the planet today. So do you have anything in the roadmap considering the kind of AI push happening in the country? So two different questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Piyush.
So see, today we have more than 250 government customers that are hosted on our government community cloud. So the advantages that ESDS has compared to AWS, Azure, Alibaba, Google, Oracle is that we were the first one to get empaneled with Government of India. We brought the concept of government community cloud, and the government also said that we want government community cloud. We want our data to stay in India. Others refused. The other cloud service providers said that we will not give you government community cloud and we will not assure you that your data is there in India. So that became a showstopper for them. Government had their own doubts that if they are going to take our data outside of India, then there can be a risk to our data. There can be a security issue for our data. So that gave us an advantage over there. Then combined with our relationships, the way we've been very, very consistently positioned into many important government opportunities, into the states, into the central government organization. And third, but not the least, but the most important thing actually is end-to-end ownership of migrating a government organization on cloud and running them on government community cloud. We take that. Others go to the government organization and say that my job is to sell you CPU, RAM, and storage. I don't care now how are you going to run your data on cloud. We don't do that. When we go to our customers, we tell them that it is our responsibility to take everything on our cloud, make sure everything runs from our cloud. Your security is also our responsibility. Getting you migrated also on our cloud is our responsibility. And ensuring you continue to be successful on our cloud is also our responsibility. So because of that end-to-end ownership that we take, our customers prefer us. And we have some Navratna companies, Maharatna companies, Navratna companies, government organizations like Indian Ports Association, Power Finance Corporation, ONGC, HPCL, then North Ministry of Road Transports and Highways, Rights Limited, then 30 smart cities, many government, like in Maharashtra, 70% workload of Maharashtra government runs on our cloud platform today. So there we have a significant advantage. Then your second question was, sorry, Keswan, what was your second question?
Sorry, I was muted. Second question was on AI specifically.
Yeah, sorry.
Right,
So,
that was on AI. You know that, and because you are an expert.
I remember your question.
And you know, IBM offers $120,000 free credit, right? AWS offered me $150,000 free credit to even get started. And that is I mean, they are able to do it. That also gets us started in AI. I would just like to understand, is this a target market at all, the AI software SaaS companies?
So see, world's largest IoT project and India's largest smart metering project currently going live from our cloud platform, and even IoT also consumes massive amount of compute power. So today that is happening from our cloud platform. All the smart meters, majority of the smart meters in India run from our cloud platform. 80 to 90% of those run from our cloud platform. Now, why that has happened? Because they saw an advantage. They saw that we were able to give a proper service to them, and they wanted a partner to take end-to-end ownership of delivering the IoT project from their cloud platform. So same thing we are going to do for AI and ML as well. We have recently launched the GPU Community Cloud. When massive workloads start coming in AI, ML, that time we will have an advantage. Right now, the workloads are smaller. So that's the reason we are not so aggressive with the AI workloads, bringing the AI ML workloads on our cloud platform. But next year onwards, or maybe by 2023, when the AI ML workloads would be humongous, that time we will get into it. And now that the blockchain is also becoming data intensive, compute intensive, we are bringing solutions for blockchain as well. So when the community matures, when the technology matures, we bring our technologies at that time. Sometimes we take an advantage of early movers, and sometimes we just wait and watch for things to mature, and then we bring our solution in the market.
Yes, thank you. Next, another question from audience is, as you are one of the biggest player and you don't have much of competition, then how do you source experienced people from the same field?
We just don't source people from the same field, but we also have our own academia. We train people in our own academia. So we have a postgraduate diploma in advanced cloud computing program. Dozens of almost 60-70 people are trained in that academia every year. And same course of that academia we use for other staff members to get trained, certified. And see, we've been there in the market from last 15 years. So it's a DNA of the company. People are hired, lesser skilled people are hired, nurtured, trained, and motivated, inspired to work on larger opportunities. And we have an advantage working in a city like Nashik. People here are quite stable. Their aspirations are reasonable. They love working for ESDS. And because it's a GPTW, so the stickiness is very high.
Yes, thank you. Sunil sir, do you have any question?
Yeah, just some questions from the audience, like the pre-IPO allotment, when it will be allotted, like what is I think I am told that it will be in the October last week or so.
Correct. It will happen in October last week.
What is the procedure like? We'll be definitely collecting the names and all that thing. The procedure like?
We have to send the Excel sheet to Axis Capital and IIFL.
Okay. So we'll be collecting them, then you will be sending to Axis and all that thing. Okay.
Okay. And the lock-in period starts from the allotment period, like after the listing, or when does that start?
From the date of listing.
On the data.
Date of listing. Okay. Right. Okay. One more question from Keswan. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry, I was typing. I thought. Sorry. Last question. Now, do you have any co-location with any other cloud service providers today? And the other question that I have is, have you been approached by any of these cloud service providers for an acquisition before? I'm just asking because it is.
We've received many offers. We've never considered those. We've been very, very focused in scaling ourselves, becoming a limited company, and going to the public. Intention has always been to make our people rich, our investors rich, and be number one in India, dominate the market where we are.
On the co-location, do you provide any co-location to any of the other cloud service providers in your data centers? No? Okay. Thank you.
Right. Any more questions? Chandas, you have?
No, there is no question from audience now. I think someone has, Badalia has raised hands. And just Badalia.
Please turn on your videos so that we can send you the unmute request.
Hello.
Kamlesh Badalia. And Ankush Badalia has some question.
Hello.
Huh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want to just ask, what is the face value of share you IPO launching? And second question is, according to you, what is the total market cap of ESDS?
Total market cap of ESDS should be in the range of 3,700 crores to 4,000 crores. And the face value of the share is 1 rupee, and the expected, estimated listing price is 400 rupees.
Okay. Next is there any other country where a local cloud hosting player has succeeded global players like AWS, Azure?
There are, like, see, every country has their local data centers and their local cloud service provider, and the local players are always going to be there. You just cannot expect one single company to rule the entire world, because the DNA of that company might be of global level, but local companies are always preferred by local customers. So that local advantage will always be there with us, know-how of the market, the knowledge that we have, what the market needs, the softwares that we are creating for our customers. Now the software as a services that we are creating, FarmRoot we launched day before yesterday. So it is going to transform the entire agriculture sector of India. Target is that more than 50 crore farmers in India should be using FarmRoot over the next 4 years' time. So if that happens, our annual revenue is going to be more than 1,000 crore rupees just from FarmRoot. So there are multiple software as a services that we have launched, which the global players may not understand. What do the Indian hospitals require? They do not know. What does the Indian government organization require in a software? They don't know. What the farmers require? They don't know. What the Indian banks require? They don't know. So local players will always have advantage of the local knowledge.
Thank you. Next is, how do you plan to get the advantage of this data localization that's coming in India? Like the MasterCard ban effect. So how do you plan to get advantage of those?
We don't need to do anything different. They are going to consume a lot of space here in India, and we just need to be there ready at the right time. Whenever these people start migrating their data in India, we should be there in front of them. So that our sales team will take care.
Thank you. Next is, what will be the issue price for preferential shares?
Uh, we don't know whether any discount would be given on the listing price or not. So the bankers will decide on that.
Okay.
It is
That is-
around 400, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, those who are interested in investing pre-IPO, they can certainly contact Udyog Vardhini, and we'll collect their names, and accordingly we'll send it to ESDS, and then ESDS subsequently will send to the bankers. Okay, those who are interested, they can contact us at Udyog Vardhini. And now,
So asking when to invest, like how much, how the money will proceed, like about those questions. Yeah,
No,
Chandak.
no. Yeah, can you repeat your question?
No, like people are asking like the pre-allotment process, like how when should they invest?
As per your comfort, like see, some people prefer to do a pre-IPO so that their investment is secure. Then they don't want to take that risk that whether my subscription would be considered or not. Nowadays, majority of the stocks are getting oversubscribed. So to avoid that kind of a congestion in the end, people prefer to make an investment into pre-IPO, and also where the confidence level is very, very high. There also people make investment into the pre-IPO. So the anchor investors that we have now for pre-IPO would definitely improve a lot of confidence of people in brand ESDS. So that all will get announced by the end of this month.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, basically, yes, people are asking like how to invest, like how to further take this procedure. Like we have the names and everything, but how they should proceed with their investment.
So buying the shares at the time of listing when the subscription window opens, that is very simple.
Pre-IPO, like pre-IPO.
Pre-IPO, you just have to send a Excel sheet, like you have to send your requirements to Udyog Vardhini, and Udyog Vardhini will combine everything in one single Excel sheet and send it over to me.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Ankur and Sahil has some question. I think Ankur you can ask, Are you there? Otherwise, Sahil you can ask.
Yes, we'll take last few questions as the time is approaching. But yeah, Sahil, please.
Yeah, I have only one question. So this 400 rupees IPO price is available at what valuations? Like how much is the current EPS? Because I have seen the drafts, I couldn't get, that's why. So this 400
approximately market capitalization of the company post listing should be 3,700 to 4,000 crore rupees.
Yeah, that I understood, sir. And 400 rupees is the price. Profit is 5 CR, so it is available on 80 plus multiple. I just confused, that's why.
No, it is not on the past profit. It is on the FY23 projected EBITDA of 150 crore.
So 150 crore is the EBITDA. Okay, then it would be something around 30 EPS. I don't know. I have to check out.
25, somewhere around 24.
25 rupees EPS. This available at around 15 P. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ankur, you can ask now.
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Ankur Bansal. I have got two questions. My first question is, can you just give us the breakup of revenue from cloud, from SaaS and from AI? Because we have done 172 crore revenue from last year. And my second question is, what are the risks and threats do you see for your business?
So 51% of our cloud revenues come from infrastructure as a service. 26% comes from software as a service, and the balance comes from managed services. And risk factors, there are detailed risk factors there in the DRHP document. So I would request that you should go through all those. We put each and everything that can be risk for the business, all put in the DRHP.
Right. Thank you. Yes.
There's one question from I think Vinny Jain. He is asking about the minimum amount to be can be invested. It's we have already mentioned it's around 2 lakh rupees minimum you can invest, and then there is no upper limit. and our president of Investors Club of in Pune, Mr. Bhai Patil is here. He want to ask you some question. Bhai Patil, sir.
Thank you, Sunil. Piyush ji, I have worked in Pune. I have worked in Nashik way back in 1980-81. You know, probably you must be very small at that time. And I really appreciate, you began operations in Nashik, and a 1,300 crore IPO is coming from a Nashik company. Fantastic. I am not asking any questions because most of the questions have been asked by Sahil and others and Keshavan. So, and you have answered them very nicely. I only wish your company a great success. And I am also happy that you are the pioneer in cloud services in India. So all the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Patil Sahib. So
he was joint director of industries in Nashik.
Yeah, so I was just 2 years old at that time. So I can.
Sunil and I have worked together there. Sunil was very dynamic entrepreneur trainer, and I have very high regards for him. He is a celebrity in the sense that he got the highest award in entrepreneurship training very recently. But I have seen Sunil grow from a beginner to a great trainer.
Correct.
And I liked your interview, which was taken by Sunil. I have seen that. And most of my group mates have also seen that. And they were very impressed by your success.
Thank you.
You are something like, the Dhirubhai Ambani in cloud services. And I hope similar growth will be there as far as your company is concerned, and you will grow with a lot of energy. You are too young, so you have a way ahead to go.
Yes, sir. So this is just the beginning for us, and I believe that from here a long distance is yet to be covered. And with the blessings of people who will come on board as our investors, we should be able to achieve something big for everyone and for India especially. Whatever we are trying to do is for India. It is much easier to work outside India, get revenue outside India, earn a lot of profit outside India, but we have been focusing here in India because we want to change this country first.
Great.
Thank you.
Now, Vinny said data is our new oil.
Very true. Yes.
There is Sumer Kumar Kale, who is ex sales tax commissioner. He is here. He also want to ask some question. Sirji, Sumer Kumar ji.
Yeah. I will not going to ask any questions. But what I have heard, and I am very proud regarding Piyush, he is equally socially sensitive in all fields and all social services in and around Nashik and in many fields. But we are all Nasikers are very proud that from Nashik, just Mr. Patil has asked that Pune is the IT capital, and from the Nashik company has some come to such platform. Really, I will tell Mr. Patil sir, Mr. Mahindra has also started from Nashik, and in auto industry he became a giant in this field. I also hope, as far as PUG is concerned, I know he's equally following the principles of HR is like Tata Group and innovative ideas. He is equally techno finance. I have seen very less people. Some industrialists I have seen, they are very good in technology, but they are very lacking in finance, knowledge in finance. But so many is such a person. He is equally considering HR, finance, and everything, integrity with the work. So I hope, I wish every success to the company, and definitely he will be one of the most important industrialists from Nashik. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
ESDS has got received number of awards so far as best working place. I think you can just tell about the awards that you have received regarding that.
Yeah, we have like Aegis Graham Bell Award and the Economic Times Award for innovation in cloud technology, and then the GPTW we ranked #2 in the world in India amongst great place to work. And from last 6 years, we've been consistently the best place to work for women, and the most recognized and admired CEO of award also from Great Place to Work. So all that has been there. But Sumer Kumar Kale Saab, like you've been a Guruji to me. So last 10 years, your blessings, and it is you, people like you who make working for India quite smooth, and also give us that vision that why we should work for our country. A very, very honest officer. Last 10 years, I've been seeing him. A highly committed government officer, retired with a lot of prestige, and because he has done so much for the government of Maharashtra, the GST department, that they have come back and retained him and said that you have to play an even bigger role. What you retired at, you have to play an even bigger role for the government after your retirement. So that happens only when you have done your job with a lot of commitment and with a lot of pride. So we really, really thank people like you to give us that direction. It is only good people like you, because of whom working in India, or else like the entire young generation would have left India and settled in some or the other country. But when we see people like you, we get that energy to work in India. So thank you very much, Sumer Kumar Kale Saab.
Yeah, rightly said. Rightly, very, very rightly said. And I think Mr. Monish has got some, Monish Jawar, you have some question. I think this is the last question, perhaps. Yeah.
Hello, Piyush. We have seen you since childhood. We just want to ask, you have said in your presentation about 1 billion trees. So this is under corporate social responsibility, or you are thinking about some business, green business, agriculture business, or just a carbon credit like that?
No, so yeah, we are childhood friends. We know each other from long time. But see, I'll tell you that the purpose of this mission 1B to plant 100 crore trees is not a corporate social responsibility, but it is the entire, it is the purpose of ESDS. The reason why ESDS is there in business is to make the world a better place, to make India a better country. Because the way things are going on right now, we will become unsustainable over a period of next 10 years time. None of the farmers would be able to produce anything, because it will rain anytime, then you will get hailstones anytime, there will be overheating anytime. So all the problems which are going to come because of the unsustainable living place that we have created in India and the world as well. So we want to change that. We want to make sure that everything that is there is sustainable. We have plans to convert ourselves into a completely green power data center in 2 years' time. So 2023, we will convert ourselves completely. We are taking permission from the government to allow us to generate our own solar power, wind power, and utilize it for our own data center. So a completely self-sustainable business model where we do not do any harm to the nature at all. And then again, give back in such abundance to the nature that the future generations would cherish and say that, yes, the world is much better place to live now. So that's the purpose of the organization, to create a technology or advanced greener planet. That is the purpose of the survival, or the purpose of the existence of ESDS. We will not exist if there is no reason to give back to the nature.
Wish you all the best for this all sustainable thinking, and it will, win-win for all the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Monish. Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, I think few people are asking about the process. So we have already shared the link on the chat box, the same link on which you have registered for this webinar. We will take up your data from this, and then we will reach out to you personally, and then we'll take further more details which are required by ESDS for this pre-IPO allotment. So just fill up your details on this form, and then we'll submit this details to ESDS for the further process. And then if in case you don't get the link is on the Udyog Vardhini website. Go to the webinar section, and here you will find this link over here. Okay, so I think that's it from our end. So thank you so much, Piyush sir. Chandu sir, you want to continue anything? Yes.
No, I think everything has been cleared, and really, Piyush, it was very nice interaction, and you have not only cleared the ESDS total picture, but also clear the entire environment and upcoming field and opportunities for India. And you have a very larger perspective. You are looking India as a whole. So it's really great. So wish you all the very, very best. And this IPO will be 100 times more subscribe. I think it is my gut feeling, and therefore before getting it oversubscribed, apply it and just get yourself, be a partner with this green company ESDS Software Solution Limited. Thank you. All the very best, Piyush.
Thank you everyone.
Yes, thank you, Piyush sir. Thank you all investors for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes.
Yeah.